Welcome to the Dark Ozarks. We're discussing the mysterious events that happen along the 37th parallel, which happens to run right through the Ozarks. So what does a line on the globe have to do with mysterious events?
Maybe more than you would think. There are a number of unusual things that happen around the 37th parallel line, from Bigfoot, odd hauntings, to UFOs. It has a lot going on.
We will get back to the 37th parallel, but first we want to invite you to like, follow, and subscribe to the Dark Ozarks on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as your favorite podcast platform. We also invite you to become a Dark Ozarks subscriber on Facebook. On the Dark Ozarks Facebook page, click subscribe, have your login information ready, and join Dark Ozarks behind the scenes for only $4.99 per month.
Your $4.99 per month subscription allows you to come with us on paranormal investigations, deep dive research, and topics too controversial for public view. The next 100 subscribers will be entered in a drawing for a free Dark Ozarks t-shirt and an exclusive signed first-run copy of the book Dark Ozarks: The Spooklight. Subscribe today to be entered in the drawing.
And now you can get Dark Ozarks t-shirts for sale at darkozarks.com and paranormalsciencelab.com.
We encourage you to check out Always Buying Books in Joplin, Missouri, in person and online, on Facebook, and at the website alwaysbuyingbooks.com for all your reading needs, including a large section on the paranormal, history, and more. Not to mention, the building is haunted. Tell Bob and Elise we sent you.
We also want to thank Beard Engine Brewing Company in Alba, Missouri. Beard Engine Brewing is the only English-style brewery in Missouri and has been twice named Missouri's best brewery by the Missouri Brewers Association. Great beer and great food in a historical building with a noir past. And yes, their building is also haunted. Tell Nate and Tiff that we sent you.
So, the 37th parallel runs straight through the Missouri Ozarks.
Yes, basically the southern border of Missouri, running west along the southern border of Kansas, Colorado, all the way into Nevada and California, going out east to the seaboard,
Yes.
Virginia.
I found it interesting, just from a historical perspective, that not long after, initial colonization by Britain, that the 37th parallel was utilized first to divide Virginia from the Carolinas. And so that set the border of statehood in motion. And so for people who would be looking for the 37th parallel on the map, the state line between Virginia and North Carolina, the state line between Kentucky and Tennessee, the state line between Kansas and Oklahoma, and then between Wyoming and New Mexico, and between Utah and Arizona is the 37th parallel. And it actually runs a little bit north of the southern state line of between Missouri and Arkansas.
Yes, it does technically, but for broad sweeps, it's along that line. And it was used, actually, it was the original border between Arkansas and Missouri in the Missouri Compromise in 1820. Yeah. And it did shift. And that was also before we had a boot hill.
Yes. So it's really interesting to look at. And the lore, or the suggestive lore, is that weird things happen along the 37th parallel.
That's true. And of course, part of that is as you go out west, you get into Nevada and you're close to Groom Lake, and there are lots of mysterious things that happen out there. And you end up with places like the UFO highway and so forth, Roswell and so forth.
Right.
But there are plenty of things that have happened further east, and in the Ozarks region, there does seem to be a lot of just odd, unusual things that do happen in that general area. Everything from cryptids to lots of hauntings to just unusual experiences, and of course, UFOs. And people might be surprised that the modern post-aviation era UFO craze theoretically actually started in the Ozarks and not at Roswell.
I think that is really, really interesting. Of course, we're referencing the 1941 Cape Girardeau UFO crash.
Yes.
Just in terms, and we'll talk about this in depth on the long format, but on the long format podcast. But the 1941 Roswell crash, as well as the 1970s, early 1970s series of incidents around Piedmont, Missouri, are very, very notable in UFO lore, and they are essentially along the parallel.
Yes, they are. Cape Girardeau is it's a very interesting case, and I'm looking forward to digging into that further, because it's easy to dismiss it, but on the other hand, there's reasons not to. And then, of course, Piedmont is the first widely, seriously studied series of UFO events in the country.
And the documentation on the Piedmont event, unlike the 1941 Cape Girardeau incident, is extensive.
It's extensive, and you can't ignore it. There definitely, it seems something was going on, whatever the nature of it was. And so we do invite you to check back here tomorrow night for the longer version of this topic. That video will be uploaded, and we're going to go into a lot of detail. Looking forward to that. And in between, don't forget to check out upcoming events and merchandise at darkozarks.com and paranormalsciencelab.com. Thank you again to Always Buying Butts and Beard Engine Brewing Company for helping to bring the Dark Ozarks to everyone.
On the next episode, we're going to be discussing vampires and creatures of the night. Catch the Dark Ozarks podcast on Branson Podcast Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or about any other podcast platform. Thank you, everyone. And remember, there are no easy answers.